Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. My name is Ivy and I will be sharing my experiences as a first time renter in Toronto. Keep watching. So today's video is basically me sharing my experience while renting an apartment as a first timer in Toronto. So I don't know if this applies to all over Canada, but I know that for the prices it definitely doesn't apply everywhere because Toronto is one of the most expensive cities in Canada, if not the most expensive city. So I know that some things differ depending on where you would be staying if you're coming in for the first time, because my advices are more for people who are just coming in. If you've been here, I guess you know the system, you know how things work. So I mean, you would have experienced it for yourself, so you wouldn't need like so much of these tips. But I'm just going to be sharing my knowledge, and if you stay till the end of the video, I'm also going to be attaching clips of me checking out a few of these apartments, and just so you get like a full idea of how to check out these places and what to do when you come in to Canada. So I will be starting with the type of houses. The type of houses that we have here, there are the condos. So condos are apartments in building complexes. So these are usually like modern buildings that have they're high rises, so they usually have like, you know, like maybe 30 stories or 20, or you know, just it depends on the particular condo, but it's usually like an apartment block with lots of apartments, and they usually have amenities. So if you're staying in a condo, you might have an amenity like a gym, swimming pool shared by all the users in the building. I've even seen one that had a bowling alley. Like, that was mad. That's lux right there. So yeah, so the apartment building can have like a party room, you know, just different amenities. And apartments like that tend to cost a little more than if you were staying like in, like if you were renting a place. Please, this video is for renters, not people buying, please, because I haven't had that experience yet. So I'm only sharing for people renting because, like I said, this was my first experience. So yeah, this usually costs a bit more than people who are renting like in a house, but then again, like I said, that depends on location. So yeah, so you could be renting in a house, like maybe there's like a 3-bedroom house, and you could be renting like one room in it and sharing like the common areas like the kitchen, the laundry, the living room. There's also that option. And then we have what is called townhouses. So townhouses are usually like, oh please, if you see me looking away, I'm not distracted, it's just my notes. So yes, townhouses are usually like duplexes or triplexes, and each part of that duplex, let's say like the second floor and the ground floor, is rented by a different set of people. So there's like maybe a family staying on the second floor, and then you decide to rent the first floor. And a lot of houses have basements in Canada, so that brings me to another type of house, a basement. You could rent a basement space in someone's house, and usually I'm not going to lie, like basements can, I mean, they can be pretty nice, and as much as they don't tend to get a lot of natural light because you're underground. But I've seen a few basements that had their windows high up, so that was also convenient, that was also comfortable for the people staying there. A basement can be a 1-bedroom, it can be a 2-bedroom. It just depends on how the house was built. Like if it's a bigger house, definitely the basement will be big as well. If I'm rushing anything, please just ask me in the comments, because I feel like, you know, when you're just sharing your experience, like you're just speaking, I feel like I'm just going straight into it. So that brings me to living situation. Like I said, you can decide to share. If you're just coming in for the first time, you can decide like, okay, I can rent a 2-bedroom and find a housemate. You can also rent a room in someone's house, or whatever you choose to do. There are studios, there are 1-bedroom. So studio is like what we call self-contained in Nigeria. If you're Nigerian, you know what a self-contained is. It's just you, your kitchen, your bathroom. And the kitchens here in Canada, most times they are open plan. So it's that kitchen that is linked to your living room. It's not usually on its own, but a few of the older houses have a standalone kitchen if that's what you would prefer. And the third thing would be budget allocation. Budget allocation is a mad one because, like I said, Toronto is quite expensive. So if you want to live downtown, the average rent for a one bedroom downtown is 2,500 Canadian dollars. Yeah, that's what we're facing right now because the market is crazy. The housing crash. Honestly, I would explain more about it, but I'm not a realtor. I don't know how these things work, but I think it's a demand and supply thing. Because there is more demand, the prices have gone up. As a matter of fact, some people are selling their houses, they're ending their mortgage and going to rent. So it's really crazy right now, and the prices have gone up. The average for a studio would be 2,000 Canadian dollars, and the average for a two-bedroom would be 3,300 Canadian dollars. Please, this video is being shot in April 2023. So if you're watching the another time and you're like, what's going on? Yeah, that was the price at the time of me shooting this video, and I have been in Canada for a few months now. So I'm just sharing like my situation right now. Okay, yes. So the more you move from downtown, the more you move out of downtown. I mean, Toronto is not just made up of downtown. There is York, there's Scarborough, there is North York, East York as well. It's Etobicoke. I think those are the six. Those are the 6 parts of Toronto. So the more you move out, and the more you move out of Toronto, like to Mississauga, to Brampton, to other areas in the GTA, it gets inexpensive. So that would mean, let's say from getting your one bedroom for 2,500, you can be looking at getting it for 2,200. Yeah, oh, here they say 2,200. So you don't stress yourself and be saying 2,200. I was saying 2,2. When I came, I was saying 2,2, 2,8. No, you're in a different place now. So yes, the more you go out, it gets inexpensive. Places where you can get, or rather where you can search for these apartments, there are so many. I found that I couldn't access some of them while I was still in Nigeria. Yeah, some of these sites only open when you're here. So we have Zulu.ca. I will link them below, please. And like I said, if you have questions, please feel free to ask me in the comments, because I'm just going with the flow. So we have Zulu.ca, we have Kijiji.ca. Be careful with Kijiji, please. That's my advice, because it's a marketplace. It's their version of Gigi. If you're in Nigeria and you know Gigi, because I have used Gigi when I was moving, I sold some of my stuff on Gigi. So you want to be careful. Buyer-seller relations, you really just have to be careful with that. So that's what Kijiji is like. There's also Facebook Marketplace. Also have to be careful with that one. There is Zomper.com, there is condos.ca. That's strictly condos. So if you want a condo, you know where to search for straight up. So there are many of the spaces you can find. Okay, so understanding your bills and utilities, because before you rent, you need to know what you're getting into. You need to know what you're up against, let me put it that way. So when they talk about rent prices, most times it is not standalone. Your rent might have water and heating included depending on where you're staying. Sometimes it might have both water, heating, and all of them inclusive, water, heating, electricity, and that might make the price a bit higher. So you can decide to search for somewhere where you want to pay your own utilities yourself rather than including it in the rent, because some people feel like if it's included in the rent, am I sure I'm paying the right thing? Am I paying? Well, you can also decide that, okay, I don't want it to be part of the rent, I want to pay it myself, and that is just fine. Some places even have Wi-Fi included, some have already furnished spaces. That is nice. I mean, when I saw an already furnished space, I felt like, oh, okay, I won't get to buy anything, but I mean, it depends on what you want. Do you like the furnishing? Do you how long do you see yourself living in that place? What are the rules? What are the regulations? What kind of building do you want? Some people like condos because of the amenities. And also, let us not forget accessibility. If you're going to work, going to school, you need to check somewhere that it's easy for you to get the transit so that you can easily locate anything you want. I mean, me personally, I like staying in places that have like stores around. I don't want to be hungry, and then I start thinking like, oh, where am I going to get this, or am I going to get that? To think about accessibility, things like that. Okay, so I'm getting into the other part of the video where I said I will be dishing out a few advices before showing you what the apartments I checked out look like. So yes, for the requirements, I was told I needed to provide credit score, and being that I am new in the country, I have zilch credit score. If you're coming from the US, you'll be lucky because they would check the credit score you had there. But coming from Nigeria, I had none. So in that case, you have to provide like work references, you have to provide a guarantor. So usually they ask for these things: credit score, work reference, guarantor. They also want to see, not all the time, I mean sometimes these things are not asked for at the same time, it depends on the landlord, but they might also want to see your bank statement. So these are usually very common, but be careful, like I said. No, especially if you're meeting the person on one of these marketplaces like Kijiji or Facebook, be sure that the person is legit. Before you sign anything, read the fine print, know who the landlord is for sure, meet the landlord, don't just take anybody's word of mouth. You can also speak to the neighbors, speak to people around there, find out things for yourself, do your research. Get a realtor if you can. It's not hard, and in this place, unlike in Nigeria, you don't pay a realtor, they are paid by their company. You don't pay a realtor, so you can look for a realtor simply on Google. You can just Google one, and you can also get a realtor from one of these sites. It's fine. Sometimes the person you might be chatting with might be a realtor and not the landlord, so that works, that checks out. Like I said, know the utilities that are involved, know all the things that you need to pay for. And here, usually when you want to move in, there are no renovations that need to be done by you. Everything will be done by the landlord, because I've had places in Nigeria that I rented and I had to paint, I had to clean all of that. No, you would definitely not do that here. I mean, if it's been done by someone, I don't know, but that's not the impression I got, and that's not an experience I've had anybody talk about. So yes, so just really be careful, watch body language, your conversations, make sure that they are documented, everything, every precaution that you feel like you would take on a regular day, do the same here. So okay, thank you for watching. Let's get into the other parts of the video. Okay, straight into apartment one. Apartment one was in North York as a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and it was going for $2,500 per month. Remember that the rent and utilities are paid monthly here. And I was honestly looking in North York and York. I don't know, I didn't think to look downtown, maybe because of the price, maybe because of just how busy it is, but my search took me through North York and New York. So let's look at this apartment. That was the first bedroom. I was really just scrutinizing the closet space because I love a huge closet space. That was the den. You can use it as a workspace. And this is the first bathroom. Both bathrooms are full bathrooms. So here, if they say it's a full bathroom, it means it has a bathtub. And then if they say it's a half, it means it just has a shower. This is the coat closet, the one you see when you walk in. And guys, this apartment was really spacious. That's one thing I liked about it. And the price was so fair because all utilities were included in that $2,500. Really, you can just share with someone. I was really trying to avoid the landlady. She was the one showing me the place. And the occupants still had their stuff in it. So it was just me really being careful, while recording. This is the second room. This room is bigger and this room is ensuite. The bathroom is inside. Also a very lovely setup. The whole apartment, really liked it. And then they have a nice view as well. So this one is in an apartment building. It's not a condo, but it's still a high rise, like old apartment blocks. Okay, so I'm at apartment 2 in York, going for $2,700 per month, minus electricity, or hydro as it's called here. And guys, what I have to say about this is, can you believe that this is a model apartment? Yes, you heard me right. This is not the apartment I will be renting, but something that looks like it. In the nice area, though, as you can see, it's on the ground floor, and they said they said it was literally what I would be renting. You know, minus the furniture. They just spruced it up for the showing, but that was a red flag for me because I feel like if I can't see the actual thing, then how can I tell that it's really going to be like it? But I mean, with these people, you just sometimes you have to trust, you have to go with your guts. I found the company online, I just googled them and they asked me to come in for a showing, and this is what they had to show me. So I'm just looking. It had a lot of closets, but the apartment itself seemed smaller. It was a two bed, or should I say one and a half, because the second bedroom was smaller. It didn't have a bathroom inside, but of course there was a half bathroom outside as well for it, and they had like closets in the apartment for it since they didn't have a closet inside. So now he's just taking me around to showing me the thermostat. You know, he was actually thorough. He showed me how to operate a lot of things with the furniture that we have. Even though like you won't be getting this furniture, but at least it gives you a visual aid about what the place would look like. Me, I tend to scrutinize everything to make sure that water, I won't have any issues with that, to make sure that, you know, the finishings of the apartment, everything just looks good. Here at apartment 3, and guys, at this point the search done the tie wrapper, but guess what, apartment 3 was also nice, just smaller, but it had everything new. As you can see, there are even work tools there. They're currently working on everything. It had a dishwasher, even though that wasn't top of my requirements, but it was good to see one. So apartment 3, a 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, so you and your housemates have to share a bathroom. Guys, let me know in the comments as well if that is something you will be open to. I mean, it depends on how nice the apartment is, right? The backyard had a shed, you can use that for storage. Sometimes you have to pay for extra storage, but that depends on your building, that depends on your agreement. Sometimes you have to pay for parking, and this most shocking part is sometimes you have to pay for like 4 or 6 months rent ahead of time because you don't have a credit score. Guys, this search, I'm telling you, it's not easy, but it is worth it. You eventually find what you need, and like I said, if you can't do it yourself, get a realtor. This was in a threeplex. This is the ground floor. There are 2 apartments above, and there were already 2 families renting it. So let me just go around for you to see. At night, my realtor took me to see 2 apartments in a condo. Yay, finally. So if you notice, I didn't check out any basements because in as much as basements have separate entryways, I don't know, I want my privacy and I want that natural lights. So yes, this is the view from the balcony, because that was high. I think that was on the 20th floor. So this is the first bathroom. When you walk in, it's a half bathroom because it's just a shower. This one has a 1 bedroom and a den, although he said you could turn the den into a second room, but it was quite small. That den was quite small and it didn't have any window or vent. But anyway, people make it work. It had in-suite laundry like I wanted. Look at the kitchen, an open plan kitchen as usual. An open plan kitchen which just leads to the living room. But you have your den by the left and you have the master bedroom by the right. So let me just take a walk around and show you what it looked like. Finally at the fifth and final one, and guys, can you guess which one I picked? Can you just let me know in the comments which apartment you think I ended up in? This one was a 1 bedroom and you won't believe that this one came completely furnished. This is just me looking around. Once again, you know the drill, you know how we do. It's a small space, and apartments here are measured in square feet, unlike in Nigeria where they're measured in square meters. So you can hear like 500 square feet, 600. I'm not sure how big these ones were, but I know that an apartment from 700 feet and above is good, it's quite spacious. So 1,200 square feet is usually a large space. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Just look at this apartment, look at the bed. It's quite cozy, but I mean it's a nice space. Thank you so much for watching. If you've come this far, I have to say please subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.